It all began in Cork with the Deputy Mayor, Alderman Jim Corr, dropping the starting flag on a bevy of mechanical beauties. And there were other beauties piloting them and enjoying an event which brought 118 veteran and vintage motorcycles and what are called cycle cars, that is three-wheelers, from all parts of Ireland and Britain and from Europe to take part in the 22nd National Rally. And some ran into instant trouble. After just 250 yards, enthusiast Don Mitchell from Leicester ground to a standstill on his 1911 James machine and had to see out the course as a navigator in his wife's three-wheeler. But that apparently can be par for the course in this sport if luck is not with you. And the course could hardly have been more scenic. Nearly 500 miles through West Cork and onto the countryside around Killarney and Kenmare. And not all pit stops were for mechanical reasons. Drivers had to be kept well oiled as well, with the 150 or so pilots and their travelling supporters club viewing the whole thing as a good fun holiday rather than a pressured race. All the great names of European motorcycle construction were here, names which dominated the business before the demise of the British motorcycle industry. There were the Nortons, the Triumphs, BSAs, Ariel, Rudge, the NSUs, AJS, Sunbeam, Matchless, Excelsior, James, Moto Guzzi, and the survivors, Harley Davidson and BMW. And the three-wheelers included this 1937 Morgan, driven by Pat Coughlin of Youghal, 3 other Morgans, and a BSA three-wheeler from Leicester. Machines the name of which were commonplace 30 years ago, and now they're history. But those who still enthuse about them include the rising generation.
There were 2 reasons for coming over. We are friends of old motorcycles and cars, and the other reason was that we wanted to try a Guinness in Ireland, you know.
But you come from where the beer is made too, yeah?
That's it.
So what is the fascination with these old machines?
Yes, it's just to see how this old machinery works even today very well and can stand long distances. I have ridden my 30-year-old BMW from Ingolstadt in Bavaria up to here without any problems. And it's always nice to see people looking at your bike and have a chat with them, and you're always very quick to get in contact with people.
And the machines that you've seen here, would they be available to see in Germany?
Most of them would be very rare, I think.
It's just a love affair with them, isn't it, really? They had so much more character. And it's not the speed. With scenery like this, who wants to go fast?
We've been coming now, what is it, 6 or 7 years.
Is it different to any other?
Oh, yes.
In what way?
Well, it's friendly, the whole thing is different to anything we have at home, you know, so it's very enjoyable. Good company.
Can you tell me about your car?
It's 1934, PSA. What else? Got front wheel drive. Can't tell you a lot more.
And the bride and joy of the family, eh?
Yes, well, my pride and joy anyway.
Not the adoration of the idol, but of the Indian, a 1917 Indian owned by George Kingston of Cork. And scenes like this dotted the route as loving owners coaxed and cajoled veteran machines. But why do they do it? Clerk of the course, Michael O'Mahony.
It's a form of being fond of antiques to a degree, you know, and in this modern plastic world, I suppose they lend some bit of authenticity to life, you know.
And some very beautiful machines.
Oh yes, very beautiful, very well kept machines. Yes.
So it's a consuming hobby, I mean, keeping these.
Very consuming, yeah, very consuming. Mostly spare parts for a lot of these machines now they're not available anymore, so a lot of these have to be handmade and keep these bikes going.
They don't achieve the high prices which veteran cars make at sales. The veteran and vintage bikes are no less loved.
A lot of people have bikes and cars actually in hay sheds and things like that, and there's only when they see something like this, they say, I've got something like this in home, you know, and they resurrect it, bring it out, and you know, join the club and eventually get involved.
And why would the Irish national event attract entrants from Holland, Germany, East and West, Britain and from Sweden?
The feedback we get is that they have a good time here. It's, you know, the roads are nice and free of traffic, and the scenery is beautiful, and you have the fellowship of the vintage movement. Means a lot to these people, you know.
In fact, can they do this kind of thing in Europe?
They do in a small way. The restrictions in Europe, we don't have them here, and it means we can put on a run anywhere in Ireland without any restrictions, as long as we stay within the rules that are laid down by the governing body.
And what sort of restrictions do they run into in Europe?
Due to the traffic in Europe, they are only allowed through villages and towns at a certain time. They have to be in and out at a certain time, usually very early in the morning, you know, which restricts an awful lot of events being held.